Okay, I started that way early. Whoops. Let's get things under control. Okay. Hello. Sorry, I was a little unorganized starting the stream today. Well, I started it and then I kind of got the shit ready. So let's see what we can do. Also, I got a new mic setup, but I keep noticing that it's in front of the TV. So let's see. Is that better? Yes, it is. It's actually not in front of the TV now, but it does look like it. It does look like a tad bit of garbaggio, but that's okay. Okay, so today we're going to start part 2 of this Dead by Daylight guide. We didn't get super far last time. I believe we were on another Survivor game. Let's just keeping it on, because we got to get nursed to level 10 before we can even play any killer. And to be honest, I'm definitely a killer main in this game, so I'm going to be definitely doing a little bit better on the killer. Luckily though, Survivor you don't need to be that good. That's the wrong word. The killer, or the Survivor achievements don't require you to be like super good in order to get them. You should be able to get them with like being relatively newbie. Level 7. Okay. It's no problem. Let's go ahead and switch over to Claudette. Let's queue for a lobby. Maybe turn that down just a little bit. Well, maybe not. Hopefully there's not too much echo. I need to hear. I guess I could plug in headphones. Fine, I'll just plug in headphones. Let's just do that. Okay. Here we go. So we need to just farm what I would guess is like 40k blood points on some Survivor games to get nursed to rank 10. Once we get nursed to rank 10, we can play at the very least one killer game. Because if we happen to 4k on our first killer game, then we'll probably have to go back to playing Survivor for a bit. Which is not too bad. That's kind of just how it is. We're going to have to farm quite a few blood points from survivors in order to maximize like the potential of getting the harder achievements first, which I highly suggest doing, which is like those Adept killer achievements. So unfortunately it's just going to be a lot of Survivor at the start. Does not look like I'm getting into a lobby again. I don't know what's going on here. Dead by Daylight on console is kind of a train wreck. Yeah, it doesn't appear. There we go. Put me back in the lobby again. Also, Survivor at high ranks. Or sorry, well, I guess it's low ranks, but like, because I'm like rank 20, is also a train wreck because your teammates don't know what they're doing, and the killers tend to also not know what they're doing, and no one really cares about the game at rank, like at this low rank. So they'll just leave a lot of times. Let's try joining the game. Failed to join the game. Failed to join the game. We might need to restart this, depending on if it keeps acting like this. Sometimes Dead by Daylight does this, and it's really weird. No. There we go. We're not gonna bring this. Let's actually see what we're doing in this game. If we're close to anything. Raise a character to level 10. That is gonna be nurse. We're gonna get that. Boost any perk to level 3. We have Strider at level 2, so we might get close to that. I'll go ahead and ready up actually before I check these out. Raise a character to level 25. That's actually gonna take a long time because I'm not gonna actually just pour points into someone. Repair generators for a total of 100 full repairs. I've done 8. 500 successful skill checks. Man, you know, I really don't remember doing this. I've done so much of this crap that I don't really remember. Open execute 35 times. Yep. Oh, that's so funny. I think I got that one when I got knocked down while leaving. Okay. Now, when you're a really low rank in this little screen, it'll actually tell you which killer you're playing against. If it's the first time you've played against that killer, it'll give you like a tip. It'll be like, hey, just so you know, if you're playing against the Trapper, look out for bear traps. Or so there it is. Facing the Wraith, actively look for a shimmer, as the Wraith's cloak makes him near invisible. While cloaked, he has faster movement, no terror radius, can interact with objects, but cannot attack. A whoosh sound indicates that he has used his power. Hearing the bell means that he's uncloaking. The good news is his Wraith is not too hard to face. He's not like one of the best killers, but I don't face a whole bunch of Wraiths, so depending on where like generators are, it can be kind of rough. I'll talk about generators sometimes. I'll call them dead gens. When there's a dead gen in the game, you have two real options when it comes to it. You can try and do it, I would say, early, so that you minimize the risk of it, because when there's a lot of generators left, it's hard for the killer to patrol all the gens. That's probably the best idea. Or you could completely avoid the dead gen, but if you end up fucking stuff up, you can give the killer a really good 3-gen defense. And then if you have a dead gen as one of the last 3 gens, that one's pretty much screwed, because a dead gen means that the generator's not close to anything that you can get to if the killer is near, which means the killer is guaranteed to get a hit on you, at least a hit on you, if he finds you working on that generator. So sometimes the game will actually spawn a dead gen, like there's just nothing next to it, but sometimes a gen becomes a dead gen if you use all of the pallets that are next to the generator. And in which that case, I would suggest probably finishing that gen, because it probably, if you use the pallets next to it, you probably started it. But like I said, you can always be like, hey, that's just an unsafe place to be. I don't want to be there anymore. I'm just not going to do that gen. But you always got to make sure to kind of know where all the generators are on the map, which can get easier as you play the game, because you never really want to give the killer a 3-gen defense. A 3-gen defense is when 3 generators are within close proximity of each other, so the killer doesn't need to go very far to check on them, which can screw you, because then you can't get any of the generators done because he always knows you're there. Now we're going to go for our milk and cookies right off the bat. So only one person can get credit for this achievement every game, because there's only one basement chest, and only one person can loot it, so we're going to go ahead and be that person. Now remember, Wraith has no terror radius, so if he has that basement perk that lets him see me, that'd be really bad, because he could be on his way over here. This is the Killer Shack, by the way. We'll talk about the Killer Shack quite a lot. Killer Shack is an insanely good place for a survivor to go to, as long as the pallets are up. This is actually an achievement map. It actually has 2 achievements on it. Ooh. Not ideal, that lag there. More than likely we won't be getting one of them. One of them is for completing this entire map without getting hit. I just noticed right now that only 3 people loaded in. So we're probably not going to win. If 3 people load in, it's really hard to win the game, especially when one of the survivors is not doing a generator, and that would be me. The generator you need to complete is the one inside the middle building. And I don't think I'm going to be able to complete that, to be honest with you. It appears that this killer is kind of laggy. Let's see what we can do, though. These are ranked 20 lobbies, so we'll see. If he chases me, I might be able to run him around for a bit. I'm not 100% sure. It often depends on how good my teammates are, and like I said, we're in really low ranked lobbies, so it's not likely they're going to be very good. Like, I would not doubt if I'm the first person to start a generator right now, even though I spent time looting a chest and getting a dual totem. It's crazy. Doesn't look like the Wraith has found anybody. Because he has not hit a single person yet. Okay, super laggy, it's really hard to do these skill checks. Okay, there you go, he found somebody, but I'm about to get a generator done. He's only hit one person, that's pretty good. Hopefully there's another teammate, because if another teammate started a gen before me, they're gonna get done with their gen right before me. Not likely, nobody seems to do gens at these ranks. Alright, there we go. Oh, this guy started the gen, so that's nice. Let's see if we can finish it while he's getting hooked. Now, these low rank, yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna try and escape. These low rank people don't understand that you cannot try and escape, so they do it a lot. Here's the Wraith is actually face camping this man, so that's just not gonna happen. We're just gonna do what we can do. I don't think there's any getting that guy off the hook. Oh wow. I do think he's still face camping him. That guy just probably did that just to get him off the hook. We'll see what we can do. We might be able to get this achievement generator here. This generator is kind of important to get on this map because it's one of the generators that can really easily lead to a 3-gen defense for the killer. But I don't really like this generator. There's nothing to really go. Like, I don't feel like there's anywhere to go without balanced landing, and I don't run balanced landing like ever. I mean, I don't really play a lot of Survivor. I don't think it's as fun. But even when I play Survivor, the only exhaustion perk I tend to use is Dead Hard. Last killer's super laggy. It's too bad. Where'd that guy go down at? Oh, right out here. That guy's dead, so we just gotta get these last 2 gens done. That's unfortunate because a 1v2 is really rough. He definitely knows I'm in this building. I want to search that chest, but I know I'm the only thing he knows where it's at right now. No generator in here. Now this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a dead gen. There's nothing next to this. In fact, I don't even want to work on that. I'll start it though. Maybe he'll think that I'm working on that and he'll go to that gen. Pretty good chance that this guy has no ed as well. He's not playing very well. I've only cleansed that 1 dual totem. There's the hook that guy died on. I think my teammate's actually on this gen too. Is that what she is now? crazy that he didn't see her go into that locker. That's actually hilarious. I want to finish that gen, but I think he's just standing there looking at it right now. That was a boosted fucking play, my teammate. Chasing me, or who is he going after? He does not have no head. Let's see if we can get this gate open. If we get this gate open, we're just gonna leave. If he downs the scroll, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I could probably save her. No. We're gonna be a douchebag. We're gonna be a douchebag only for one reason. I need to get this achievement for leaving this map without getting hit, and I need to get the achievement for leaving this map alive while getting that generator. So unfortunately, she's just dead. Sorry, teammate. Normally I wouldn't do that. Because I don't really... I mean, you get 5,000 blood points for escaping, but I don't really give a shit about escaping. Escaping doesn't really matter as a survivor. I mean, some survivors say that that's how you can determine if you've won or not. I don't think so. I think the pip system, like, I pipped, so I won. I could have done better, obviously, if I had saved her. My benevolent would have went up. But it doesn't really matter that much. Oh, I actually ranked up because last time I thought I was like a level, or devotion, like 1, level 76 or something. Hey, nice. This guy didn't even load in. I hate being a low rank like this. Because that Wraith literally just phase camped that guy for the entire duration. Seemed like the Meg kind of knew what she was doing, but I did have to do 4 generators that game out of the 4 generators we needed to do. Not ideal, man. Next survivor game I might be able to play killer, although I suck ass at nurse, so I'm likely to just get shit on. That's why I'm trying to get the nurse achievement out of the way first when I'm like against really low rank people. There we go. Hopefully everyone will actually load in this time. Decent connection. Not too bad. I'm gonna just try and rush to get to rank 15, because you can't D-rank past 15 without like rank reset, I think. Ooh, we're facing the nurse. This should be an easy game then. Nurse sucks a lot on console. She's almost impossible to play. Like a lot of times when you look up tier lists, people say nurse is the best killer. I disagree a lot on console. I don't think she's even like, I mean, she's playable, and I think you could get really, really good at her, but it would take like so fucking long. And I know it takes a long time on PC, but PC has less frame rate issues, and like her blinking is hard as hell to control. Plus you need to really up your sensitivity to be able to like 360 with her after you blink. It's just nearly impossible to do anything with nurse. I just prefer to just not do it. That's why, and unfortunately, she's the only killer that's actually not faster than survivors. So I want to do her first, because normally if I'm bad with a killer, even if they're like a huntress or a hag that has really slow movement speed, at low ranks, you don't even need to use their power. You can pretty much just run at people all AFK-like, and you'll get them down, because they tend to not know where pallets are or where windows. They just tend to run in a straight line a lot of the time. So you can kind of abuse that by just running at them directly, but Nurse can't run at them directly because she's actually slower than them. which means you're forced to use her power, and her power is really hard to use. So, therefore, you don't do too well with her. Tips to facing the nurse. On console, you pretty much don't need to do it too much. She knew I was there, but she didn't even kick the generator. That's boosted play there, buddy. Boosted play. Tips of facing the nurse though, she can go through walls and pallets, so going to normal places where you can like loop killers doesn't work as well. You do kind of want to be next to walls because they have to like perfectly blink to go through the walls to hit you, but a lot of time just going forward and then backtracking as soon as you know that they're blinking can make them miss a lot. Also being stealthy, nurse is not very good against stealth, so if you tend to like have like urban evasion or be able to like crouch and hide around corners and shit, she has a hard time dealing with that because she can't find you as well. Most nurses use a lot of tracking perks in order to find you, so that can really help. Otherwise, she's actually pretty difficult to deal with if there's an actual really good nurse, but like I said, you're on console, so you don't see many good nurses. In fact, I've only seen like 4 nurses total, then that's counting this one. On my main, I've seen like 3, and one had no ed and face camped, and then the others were just bad. There she is right there. Did she see me? No, she's still a teammate. These guys are getting hit a lot. Where's that teammate at? Hey, come back here, you douche. Let me heal you. Hey! Dude, she's gonna run. Yeah, she's just walking with the nurse. That's what I'm saying. She doesn't know how to play the nurse. Oh, there you go. She got one down. Not too bad. Oh man, but we're down to 1 generator already. Yeah, these teammates know what they're actually doing, and so we're just rushing the hell out of her. What are the odds that she has no ed? I think pretty good. She's not likely to even leave that hook because she knows that she's about to lose this game. Which means I'll probably get this generator done for free. Oh man, he just went for that boosted play. Ooh, oh, borrowed time. Never mind, not so boosted. See, that's what the borrowed timer looks like when people get you off the hook, but you can get hit and you won't go down. It's good against phase campers, but typically a lot of people think it's toxic because you just tend to do like... You tend to do plays that shouldn't really work out, but they work out because of the perk. And it's not really fair because you shouldn't be rewarded for doing something wrong. Which a lot of time that's what borrowed time is. Alright. Maybe I should have went for the other exit gate. You can actually get 2 exit gate opens in 1 game if you get both exit gates. If you want to try and rush for that achievement. It's not too bad to do as long as they don't have no ed. Like, when you're in this situation where like only 1 person has been hooked, you can really easily go for both gates. I might try and do that. Just min-maxing my achievements here. I might also go for that milk and cookies because I doubt anyone's gone for that chest. And that's like a minimum of like 25 games if you get them like every game. Alright, there's a gate open. I could look for other chests too. Cause I don't have too many blood points this game because nothing really happened. Try and get something here on this dual totem. I don't see the nurse. I don't know where she's at. Someone did open that chest. She does not have no head, so yeah, we're pretty safe to do this. You see that? That'll be my milk and cookies chest right there. Okay. Let's see if we can go find some more totems before we escape. She's breaking pallets as the nurse. Yikes. Yeah, people did open a lot of these chests. There's some more dual totems right there. Does look like people are just escaping. I'll probably cleanse this dual totem then leave. I'm pretty safe, even if she hits me from here. Well, she could get me if she used her power, but I don't think she's going to use her power. Alright. 600 more blood points. Let's go ahead and leave. Yeah, this guy's just bullying this killer. It's not fun. That's a douchebag thing to do. Don't do that. Don't bully new killers. There's no point. You don't get any. I mean, you do get XP from it because you're technically in a chase, but it's not fun. That guy that's playing her is obviously trying to learn her, and you're just showing like, hey, I'm better than you, which is just not cool. Like, this guy probably has no perks. Did get 11,000 blood points. See, that's what I'm saying. He lost that game really bad, and he got almost the same amount of blood points that I got, and like he got shit on, to be blunt. At this rate, though, it is going to take a lot of games to be able to even play a little bit of killer because I'm getting no blood points. You actually get way more blood points when the killers are like, no offense, but good, because you get in chases. The chases are what get you a lot of points. Because killer, like hitting a killer with a pallet will actually give you 1,000 blood points just by itself. So I need 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 19, 29,000. Sad day. Take off my med kit. Looks like it's gonna be 2 more games of Survivor, at least, possibly 3. It's like I only got 12,000 that game. That was a sad game for blood points. Alright. Here we go again. Let's see what we can do. That's not good. If the killer uses something you can't see a lot of times, it's a Mori. Oh god. And it's the Hillbilly. The Hillbilly is equipped with a chainsaw, can smash balance, but survives in the dying state in 1 hit. While using his chainsaw, he moves at incredible speed, but is briefly stunned if he collides with objects or walls. Okay. So, tips for facing the Hillbilly. If you're really close to him and he has his chainsaw revved, 360ing can work really well, which is literally just running around in a circle around the killer. Like, not necessarily around the killer, but close to him. because a lot of times for killers, especially on console, they can't turn fast enough. But with Hillbilly, once he takes, when he's in his chainsaw, he can't turn very fast. So a lot of times if you even just jerk left or right, when you kind of guess like if his chainsaw is almost fully revved, then he'll go straight and therefore miss you. And then even if he doesn't collide into a wall, he has like a little bit of a swing down animation where he's kind of like stunned and can't move. So he can't really hit you with the chainsaw that way. Otherwise, if he's not using the chainsaw, he's the base killer movement speed. So you can loop him at pallets. Just you have to be aware that if he's revving his chainsaw and you drop a pallet, he will destroy it like way faster than a normal killer kicking it. So you won't get as much distance, especially because a lot of hillbillies, once they break the pallet, will just immediately start revving their chainsaw again and just catch up to you right away. Even if they're not going to hit you with it, they'll just use it to get like close that distance. Now, low-level hillbillies don't actually do that bad most of the time. Hillbilly is not the hardest killer to play, because even if you don't ever use his chainsaw for anything other than breaking pallets, he tends to do pretty well. That would have really been awkward to miss a skill check. I'm hoping that she misses the first skill check, or nobody misses a skill check. If you're wondering why the bar is red, it means that we're not getting maximum efficiency. You do gens almost twice as fast with 2 people, but it's actually more efficient to have 3 people on 3 separate gens than it is to have like 3 people on 1 gen, because I think it's 2 people on a gen finishes a gen in something like 45 or 48 seconds. Now 1 person on a gen finishes it in 80 seconds. So if you just had 2 people on 2 separate gens, you'd finish both in 80 seconds, where you'd finish 2 in like 90 seconds if you just did them with both 2 people. If that makes sense. That could have been kind of confusing. I can explain that easier in the text, or I can explain that again if you guys have any questions about it. Let's do this totem. I'm just gonna try and farm a little bit more blood points this game, not just do the generators. Even though the generators do give me a lot of blood points, I'll probably tend to do like 2 or 3 of them. But I also want to have some sort of action. But to be fair, we're in really low rank lobbies. It's not likely we're going to have a lot of action in these games. Found some where somebody else was, I think. You also get more blood points when you're doing it with 2 people because you get the generator thing, and you also get cooperative actions as well, so that's pretty nice. Kind of double down on your blood points. It's kind of giving you, it's almost filling out like the fact that you're doing the generators faster, and therefore not getting as much like objective points. You know, I think cooperative actions is objective points, right? Yeah. See, I'm almost maxed out already on co-op actions. Let's do this dual totem again. We haven't faced any killers with no ed. That's kind of rare. Usually you face a lot of killers with no ed, especially at low ranks. Chainsaw's making some weird fucking noises right now. Once again, this is one of the achievement maps, and the achievement generator is right here. Do you have knockout? Oh, they're right there. Now, this right here is a very unsafe pallet. If you don't stun the killer with it, he's going to get a free hit on you, because he can just easily walk around those boxes. Now, is this hillbilly going to be face camping this girl? Because unhooks give you a fuckload of points. Does not appear that he's face camping here. But he is going to tunnel her. So face camping means that they're literally just directly looking at the person. Oh, I actually got the safe hook rescue right before she went down. Nice. Face camping means they're just directly standing in front of the person. That's what you'll see a lot of times when they don't want to let anybody get an unhook. They'll do that in scenarios where, like, Leatherfaces tend to do it a lot because Chainsaw can down multiple people. Or people will do it when they feel that they're losing a game. Or they'll do it if a survivor is really, really good, and so they want to make sure that they don't have to fight that survivor anymore. Face camping is not really a very good strategy most of the time, because you can usually just finish the game, and they'll only get the one kill from the person face camping. Oh, he moried her. Holy shit, okay. That's ruthless. I don't think there's a pallet here. There's not. She used that pallet. That's a god pallet right there. Hey, team! Okay, my team just actually fucked me right there. Pretty hard. By literally fat-assing me next to the killer. Alright. Let's see if we can just do this real quick. There we go. He's gonna go back to that generator. He knows it's almost done. He wants to kick it. Should be able to get another unhook here. I've seen where most of the build totems are on the map though, so I can probably just unhook them or cleanse them. No chance to get a chainsaw with it. That I'll give you. That was nice. I don't think he's gonna know where I'm at. Let's go ahead and heal again. I don't care about these med kits. I'm just gonna use the whole med kit. Nice. Question is, does he have know it? Can't tell. That was a chainsaw. Should just be able to DS him. I believe that's the perk she's probably using. 600 more blood points there, nice. There's the DS. Okay, Now we can't really afford to find out if he has NOED anymore because we will just die. We could get 2,000 more blood points if we went for the hatch, but we'll just leave. I don't want to get hit by NOED and just lose the 5,000 points. That's what I'm saying. Killers are really struggling at this level. It's alright though. It's just what rank 20 things are. Okay, we almost got enough blood points to get Nurse to rank 10. Wow, he was ranked 19, but he actually had shit. Oh, never mind. These are all base game perks. Never mind. Feels bad, Mr. Billy. Feels very bad. Oh man, I'm gonna be able to get Nurse real close to rank 10 or level 10 then. I'm not really ready to play her though. I'm so fucking bad at Nurse. Yep. He's like, oh shit. That's not bad. Or that is bad. I did not want to play Nurse. Oops. I'm gonna play one more game of Survivor, get Nurse to 10, then we'll play Nurse. Probably get shit on. We'll see what happens. Platinum linkage. I wonder if that's a nod towards true talent. Hard to say. We only need to get 6,000 blood points this game, so we can actually just get pretty much just shit on and we'll be okay. Let's see what we're facing. Oh, it did not give me a tip for the killer, which means we are more than likely facing a killer we've already faced before, because I believe it only gives you the killer tips once, and that's the first time you face that killer. Unless you die. Then maybe it tells you again. But I don't think I've died a single game yet. Let's see if I can give you guys any more tips about playing Survivor. Work together. Focus on generators. Always try and cleanse all 5 dual totems. There's 5 dual totems per map. Because there's always the chance of NOED. NOED's such a strong perk that even just the fear of them having it can make the game change quite a bit. Which means you always have to be cleansing dual totems to make sure that they're not running NOED. Just in case. It's a base game perk too, so it's not like a teachable for each killer. So you can really easily just have it. You only need tier 1. Basically what it does is after the last generator is completed, the killer basically gets a 1-hit down until you find the hex totem. It's just very strong. I mean, because it can turn bad killers into good, decent killers. Ooh. This is one of the hardest maps for survivors to win, especially if they chose a killer that's very good on this map. There is an achievement generator on this map, and it's actually going to be right below me. It's going to be right in this room. It's incredibly dangerous to do, depending on what killer it is. Sometimes there's a totem down here. Yeah, so see, there's actually only the one entrance right there, and then this. There are 2 god pallets outside of the room, but depending on if it's a killer, like one with a chainsaw, and he just stands at the doorway, there's no way out, and then you just kind of die. We'll attempt it. If you get this generator done, though, it provides a very good door. Like, on this map, when you complete generators, they open up doors, and it'll open up that one right in front of me. Then you won't have this dead room like this anymore. Even if it's someone like Trapper, you can just put the trap in front of the door and then you're screwed. There's no way out without completing the generator. It does. If you look on the bottom left corner, you see how those spider legs are moving next to platinum linkage. It means that he's in the middle of a chase. It's one of the things that you need to know because the obsession always shows when they're being chased, and that's like a really big tool because now I know I'm pretty much safe to do this generator because the killer's occupied with the survivor. Remember with all the achievement generators though, it's not just completing them that matters, you also need to escape. And I believe escaping through the hatch will actually still give you the generator achievements. You can also, it does not have to be solo you. In fact, you can just come in on the last 1% of the gen. As long as you're on the gen when it actually is completed, you will get progress towards it as long as you know, were there and then you survive. Okay. The only problem is it turns this into a kind of a bad pallet, whereas before it's a god pallet. There's that, and the basement always spawns next to that generator. Every single game, the basement's gonna be down here. So if you need to do your achievement generator, then immediately come down here and get your milk and cookies. So I'm having pretty good progress on right now. So now that the spider legs stop moving, you know that the killer is no longer chasing the obsession. So I don't know how, but she managed to get away. That's 2 generators done, and this guy has not even gotten a hit yet. That's pretty bad for them. You got a hit on the obsession. Now, another thing is the killers don't necessarily want to be chasing the obsession very often, because it usually means they have decisive strike, which is a huge waste of time for the killer because they normally can't pick up the DS users. Also, this map is very, very hard to find totem spawns comparatively to other maps. So typically, if a killer is running a hex perk, it's going to be very hard to find. So you might need to look out for them. They tend to be on the outskirts of the map or randomly downstairs, but it can be kind of hard to find your way around downstairs a lot of the time. We're going to cleanse as many as we can. I don't know who the killer is yet. And we're just worried about that Noed, as always. I thought he was going to be a douchebag. If you stand in front of survivors, you can body block them. Some people think it's funny and they'll just stand in front of you while you cleanse totems. Totems can spawn in those back corners there. It's Huntress. This gen does not look like it's very safe. See what we can do about it. Unfortunately, Huntress is not one of the killers that is very strong in this map. In fact, quite the opposite. Yeah, this is what low rank killers are. Because normally if you hear someone working on a generator mid-chase, you'll just hit them so they get off the generator, have to go heal at least. I do believe he just Kobe'd off that hook. Kobe'd means that 4% chance to get off the hook. He actually managed to just do it. He's very lucky. A lot of survivors will tell you that you need to respect the 4%, which means that if they Kobe, you're not allowed to knock them down. There's a lot of etiquette in this game for killers, not so much for survivors. I don't know why. But, you're working on achievements, you're not trying to make these people's days. So if someone Kobe's off the hook in front of you, or someone Kobe's off the hook at all, especially if they're the last killer and you need to get that, or the last survivor, sorry, and you need to get your achievement, just knock them down. It doesn't really matter. Remember, you're just trying to win the game. Actually, I'm not sure how she did not notice me there. This is going to be a really unsafe generator, because the only escape's right up there, but if they cut you off before you can get to that staircase, then you're kind of fucked. Sounds like someone's working on a generator directly below me and then in front, so hopefully they'll finish that generator. I can finish this one and we'll get out of the game. This map's really hard to survive as a survivor, so I tend to just leave a lot of the time as soon as I can. Was that the guy that Kobe'd off the hook? I think it was. He might be... No, at most he's going to go in the second stage, because you can't Kobe without being in first stage. But it does seem that she is face camping pretty hard. No, this was a new guy. Nice. Oh, was not below me. It was just directly in front of me. Nice. She just ran out the hook. It's called a boosted play right there, folks. This killer might be smart and might not actually pick her up. She's a DS user. Some totems can spawn in here. I want to go for that save, but if she has no ed, then I die. There we go. I did provide enough of a distraction at least. Get those people off the hook. If she has no ed, she's getting pretty lucky. So I found 3 totem spawns and none of them have been no ed yet. That might have been a loud close. They might know where I'm at. She definitely knows where the DS person is at. She's still chasing him. Okay, let's start looking for exit gates and possibly the no-ed. Okay, here's the exit gate. Hex totems can spawn right between this. Nope. Let's go ahead and get this open then. Really safe. There's a pallet right here. Are we not gonna wait for this DS person? They seem to want to go. Yep, they dipped. Hex totems can spawn here. Let's really quickly check this back corner. I think I already went to past this. No ed. So it's gonna be. As long as this guy is pretty safe about it, we should be able to get her. Too bad. Can shield myself here. That guy's the guy that Kobe dumped the hook though, so he might be in trouble. Need to get the door open before we go for him. Don't go down, guy. I got the safe on hook. He's dead on hook now, so there's no point to stay here. I can get a little bit more points trying the self-care though. I got really lucky with that safe on hook right there. She wouldn't let me get the rest of my healing points. That may have been a little bit toxic to do that. I just wanted as many points as I could get. There's that achievement. Cherish your life. In a public match, repair the generator in the game's bathroom. Nice. Yeah. Really new killer. Okay. I should keep on keeping on then. Now we're going to be out playing our very first killer game. Wish me luck. It'll take a long time to get a lobby with a killer. Okay. Now once she's level 10, we got perk 3. The entity is woken up. I'll talk about that in a second a little bit more. You can actually get Iron Grasp to level 3 and get that achievement, but it's fine. Let's just do that. We want to immediately go on to the next killer. So after the nurse, the next hardest killer to do their achievement with is probably going to be the Hag, because she has 3 hex perks. Yeah, we're going to do the Hag next, and then after that we're going to do the Huntress. Alright, so I just wanted to start that. Let's go ahead and queue as the nurse. If you're having a really hard time getting the nurse achievement, because obviously I have a lot more experience on this game than you guys will. Killer is very hard to play when you first start off. So if you're having a really hard time getting this nurse achievement and you just can't seem to do it, don't get discouraged. I would just say go for an easier killer. People tend to have an easier time with these 3, the Trapper, the Wraith, and the Hillbilly. Clown is quite strong. Legion is very easy to play. A lot of people have a good time with the Doctor when they start because he can make it very easy to find people. You can start with people like that. Honestly, people tend to have an easier time with Freddy because people aren't very good at like getting out of the dream world. That's a pretty bad connection. It's a pretty sad day. Again, if you can't get the nurse one done, just try and skip her, try an easier killer, try and get that one done, then come back to the nurse. Can I help you, sir?
Are you streaming?
Yes. Ben?
What
Ben.
the fuck do you want?
Ben.
Yeah.
Eyes here.
Eyes here?
Hey.
Can my eyes go any lower?
Taking bandages out?
I know my friends playing some Mario Kart.
Mario Kart?
Because I obviously don't have any friends on Xbox Live want to play with me.
Wow. Wow.
Sit. Sit. Wait, no. Come.
Whoa, Daddy.
Being naughty.
This is probably the only time I'm gonna play the nurse. Let's just see if I can get. Let's use that for more blood points. I don't know how good these guys are gonna be. They actually don't look like they're new survivors because they all have items and they all have like cosmetics. Okay. I'll give you a tip to never ready up first as a killer. You always want to ready up last, because toxic survivors, if they see that you're readied up, they'll wait till the very last second, then switch to like really toxic shit because they know you're already readied up, and then they'll just immediately have that toxic shit on. You can't counterplay it. Whereas if like the survivors load in, they switch to their toxic shit. You can do stuff like switch to Franklin's or like Lightborn if they have a lot of flashlights, or even switch to like Enduring if you think that they're playing a lot of Laurie Strodes for whatever reason, so they might have Decisive. So there's just those kind of tips that, like, if you ready up last, you can kind of avoid having a losing fight. Let's see how this goes. We really don't want to get a cornfield map. We really don't want to get a lot of maps, actually, to be honest. The last map of the game, we really don't want. I'm not very good with Nurse. She's definitely my worst killer in this game. In fact, I tend to stay away from Nurse because of the aforementioned reasons that I've said many times this recording already. But there's just a lot of maps that don't favor her as well. She has a really hard time in cornfields because you have to blink and you can't see people. But let's just see. This might take a couple games to get this Nurse achievement. But I'm telling you, it'll be definitely worth it when you get it out of the way. In fact, I don't even have the Nurse achievement on my main account because I tend to stay next to rank 1. It's nearly impossible to play the Nurse with no experience at that rank. Okay, this is not the worst map. So you play the Nurse by holding down the left trigger to blink, and then after your first blink, you can hold down the left trigger again to blink again. The longer you hold down the button, the farther she blinks. This guy has sprint burst, that's why he's not moving. I don't know what that was. That was some very weird shit right there. If the basement's here, this is a really strong hook. The basement is not here. It's over there. Now, there was a Claudette around here. Let's go ahead and kick this generator. You don't really need to destroy pallets. The Nurse. Yeah, it does appear this man is trying to escape. It's really good for us if he kills himself. Remember, you are going for the achievements. It does not really matter. Normally that's called toxic if you tunnel the person that just got off the hook. But we don't care. We're trying to kill them. He actually DC'd as soon as he realized he was dead. Doesn't really matter. It still counts for us. See how those crows were just there? We know that he's there because of the crows. Yeah, these survivors do not know what they're doing. They are not running at all. It's really good for us. This is likely going to be a very easy win. We're done with our Nurse achievement right away. If you hold on the left trigger for too long on the second blink, she'll get fatigued early. So close. You need to get 100 precise blink hits for an achievement on Nurse. Which means you need to blink directly at them and then hit them. Like that. I don't know where she went. Just kill this guy. I mean, I have an idea of where she went, so I should be able to just get her after this. This guy is dead on hook. That was so damn close. That was so sad. Sad day. Alright, I need to stop trying to blink. I say that as I pull up my blink. Oh, there we go. Not doing too bad. She finished the generator over here. So we know that she's somewhere in this general direction. I know I said don't destroy pallets as the nurse, but you do get 100 blood points, and it seems like I'm going to be okay to get this achievement. I'll have the one more survivor to find. We need to make sure to get that last survivor before they finish another generator, or they will win. Oh, there we go. I kind of knew that she'd go back over as soon as she saw me blink. That's why you have 2 blinks. She's actually not dead on hook, but we want to hook this one first. Should be in second stage. Now you want to listen on the ground. There she is. She's right over here. Found this rock. Right here. Okay, now she has the chance to Kobe. You can always Kobe if you're in your first stage, so we don't want to leave her. And yeah, that person didn't die fast enough. You can't even have a chance to Kobe if you're the last one hooked. You just die immediately. But because that person wasn't dead yet, she still has the chance to Kobe here. So we're actually just gonna watch her, make sure she doesn't Kobe. It doesn't really matter. Even if she did, she's pretty much still fucked. Like she doesn't. There's no chance she gets a generator done. But we just want to have a shorter game here. Once she gets into second stage, we don't need to watch her anymore, and I know where a couple pallets I think are. She knows that I'm waiting for her to try and Kobe. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Now, even though it says ruthless and not merciless, it should pop here in a second saying Adept Nurse. There you go. 0.2% unlock ratio, so as you can see, it's a very hard achievement. I also got my daily done, which is really good because I did not want to have to do that. It gives us 53,000 blood points. This is what I'm talking about. I almost actually double pip. Double pipping is really bad. I don't want to rank up that fast. I want to get as many games in as possible to get these Adept achievements. And that's Nurse out of the way. As you can see, these people were really, really newbie. This guy actually had no perks, no add-ons, and he was the guy that quit after he just went down. Probably wasn't having a good time, unfortunately. I just needed my achievement. I didn't really care what happened after that. I don't think that's that toxic, to be honest. I don't even really think it was that bad. I knew that running for the hook. It's not like I'm just going to let him get that unhooked for free. So that's Nurse done. Now, we'll come back and go for Nurse's other achievements at some point. They're very hard. So it's likely that I'll be stuck on Nurse for a very long time. Now, Hag is actually a killer that is very, very strong. And a lot of people actually enjoy Hag quite a bit. So you might play Hag and really like her. And she has the best perk in the game that you need to get as a teachable quite early. So we'll go over that right now. It's going to be called Hex Ruin, this perk. You're pretty much going to have this as a staple in your build when you eventually start farming killer, like, blood points. Her other perks are not too bad. This one's called Devour Hope, and then her third one is going to be Hex the Third Seal. So if you've noticed anything, you'll notice that they're all Hex perks, which means that they can actually be destroyed. Hex perks are just spawning on a random dull totem, and if the survivors cleanse it, the perk goes away. So if you figured it out by now, I'm not sure, but basically the reason Hag's Adept is so hard is because if you're playing against good survivors and they cleanse all of your Hex perks very quickly, you're actually playing a perkless killer. Now, luckily, Hag is pretty strong now. She used to not be so strong, but now it's not so bad that she can actually manage to do that, even without perks. But at low ranks, people tend to not understand what Hex perks are, and they definitely don't understand to cleanse them as much. So you'll probably go through the entire game with at least 2 perks up, which is very strong. Hag is one of the killers that her perks get quite a bit better as you level. So if you're having a really hard time, you just don't understand how to play Hag, you could wait for Hag all the way to the end, like maybe, I don't know, rank 10 or something like that. Because Devour Hope at rank 1, you have to get 5 tokens. I'll explain how it works a little bit more when I'm actually playing her. But you have to wait till you get 5 unhooks, basically. And as you saw in that last game, I barely got 5 hooks for the ability to mori people. Moriing means just to kill them outright. You don't have to hook them, you can just mori them on the ground. So you just do like a little animation where you kill them and then they're out of the game. You have to do 5. So it's basically pointless prior to that. So almost not even a perk. Hex Ruin is really powerful, but it only affects 2 out of the 4 survivors, which means 2 survivors are unaffected, and they can just get the gens really fast. And if you see it says good skill checks result in 5% regression, great skill checks grant 0% bonus progression. Excuse me. So normally great skill checks grant 5% bonus, right? And good skill checks give you nothing. Now good skill checks regress it. This is very huge because I've had people say, you didn't need Ruin, I hit all greats. Well, you get about 4 to 5 skill checks per gen, normally. That's 20 to 25%. So that person that told me that was completely wrong, because if I had Hex Ruin, that's 25% or like 25 seconds longer that I would have had even if he was going to hit all greats. And on my console, people don't hit greats all that often because killers tend to be laggier, the connection doesn't tend to be as good, which means a lot of times they're just hitting goods, which means that's a 5% regression. That's adding 5 more seconds on to the generator. That is a huge deal. Huge deal. No, I'm sorry, her last perk is Hex the Third Seal. Basically, when you hit someone, they become blind. Not blind as in they can't see the game anymore, but they can't see those auras you see. So when you see someone hooked, you see someone down. If you have perks that let you see people through walls or things like that, they don't get that anymore. Now, this can be a very strong perk if it does not get knocked down. The problem is rank 1 and 2 don't affect all 4 survivors. So if you only hit 2 and only 2 are blind, not that big of a deal, because a lot of time the people you hit are going to be the people on the hook. They don't need to see where people are at. They're already on the hook. Now, the third rank lets all 4 people be hit. Now, if all 4 people are hit and you hook somebody, nobody knows where that hooked person is. They'll have to run around the map searching for him, listening for his screams. That can be a very strong perk that can end up with a lot of people not finding the hook survivor, and therefore the hook survivor dying quite early. But like I said, most of these perks tend to go down very, very quickly because they're Hex perks, which is why you want to do Hag very early. After Hag, we're going to deal with Huntress. Now, the reason we're going to do Huntress so early is because Huntress has incredibly bad perks. Like, no way around it. Her only good perk, I would say, is Hex Huntress Lullaby. Now, as you can see, that is also a Hex perk. So, basically, if they take down Hex Huntress Lullaby, your 2 perks that you have left are basically pointless. Huntress is, again, lucky that she's a very strong killer, so it's not impossible to do that. But Huntress is hard to play on console, and therefore, if you do her at low ranks, you don't even need to use her hatchets. You could just go ahead and, like, basically run at people with your normal melee weapon, your normal axe, and you can still do pretty well. So we're going to get her out of the way. After we do Hag and then Huntress, we are probably going to do, I'm going to say probably Freddy. Probably Freddy, then maybe Michael Myers, then the Doctor. Somewhere, Wraith is going to be somewhere in there too. Wraith has pretty bad perks, but I think he's a pretty decent killer. He's also just like a normal killer that can hit with his basic weapon. So it's not all that hard to get this achievement, in my opinion. I don't know what that was. I tend to like these killers, though. If you look, we're gonna look real quick at their character info. If you look at their character info, it tells you all the things you need to know. We're gonna actually go I'm gonna go to Trapper though and look at this. Okay, so these are the standards for killers. 4.6 is 115% movement speed. That's what I'm gonna refer to it a lot. I'm gonna refer to it as 115 or 110. 32 is the normal terror radius, and then this doesn't really matter their height. The only time it really matters is for certain loops that people can see you over, but it's not a really big deal. If you notice, these first 3 killers in the game all have the exact same movement speed and terror radius. I'm going to refer to them a lot as M1 killers. It's a PC term that means they basically use their just basic weapon. I guess, I'm sorry, Hillbilly is not an M1 killer, but M1 killers tend to have this 115% movement speed and 32 meter terror radius type thing, and they're just basic stats. Most 115% movement speed killers are M1 killers. That's why Billy is so strong. He has 115% movement speed, but he's not an M1 killer because he uses his chainsaw a lot. I tend to like those killers quite a bit because I think it's just easy to catch up to people. I think the ones that are slower are harder to play because you rely more on their power, and relying on killers' powers for me, I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. Now, if you'll see here, Nurse has the slowest movement speed in the game at 3.8. I believe Survivors move at 4. I could be wrong. So she's actually slower than Survivors, which means you are actually forced to use her power if the Survivors know what they're doing. That's why we did her first. Michael Myers here. This is actually a lie. It's very hard to say this. So I don't know why they did this like this. Michael Myers has 3 tiers of his power. In tier 1, he is very slow. Very slow. And his terror radius is 6 meters, but it goes up all the way up to 32, I believe, when he's with Evil within 3. And that's Evil within 2 and 3 is the only time where he's actually 115 movement speed. He's less than that when he's not. Hag here is 110. Which means it's hard to play her as an M1 killer. You rely more on her power. You should be able to use her as an M1 killer, though, at low ranks. Leatherface here. A lot of people think he is an M1 killer. I tend to disagree. I use his chainsaw quite a bit. It depends on the add-ons you have, though. His chainsaw can take a long time to charge. But if you don't like to use his chainsaw, you can always just use him as an M1 killer. We're going to be playing a lot of Leatherface at some point because he has barbecue and chili, which is one of the best perks in the game for killers. Not only because of its just overall use of the perk, but it actually gives you up to 100% extra blood points, which is basically double XP. Any game they're using barbecue and chili, which is going to reduce the grind you need to do in this game quite a bit. His other 2 perks are also very good, so just in general, Leatherface is a very good killer to max out. Doctor here, as you can see, is another 115% movement speed killer. Huntress, as you can see, is a little bit slower, relies more on her power. This can be quite deceiving. She has a base terror radius of 20 meters, but she has a lullaby radius. The lullaby radius basically means that you hear her singing, as you've heard in my games. The reason she has that is because obviously she has ranged attacks, so you need to know where she's at a little bit further away. So that base terror radius is kind of deceiving. Freddy here, normal 115% movement speed killer with a little bit shorter terror radius. He also has a lullaby though because he's completely invisible until he's put to sleep. Freddy is supposedly the weakest killer in the game. I'm actually a Freddy main, so I tend to disagree with those people, but that's a lot of bias. So, there you go. The Pig is the only 115% movement speed woman in the game. Her power is quite weak, in my opinion. She actually has 2 powers. Both of them are quite weak. I tend to think Pig is quite weak in general, but she is a normal M1 killer, so she's got that going for her. The thing she does have going for her is she has 2 quite strong perks. She used to only have Make Your Choice, and these 2 perks were shit, but they recently redid Surveillance, and I now think I think that Surveillance is like a top tier perk. I think it's very good. So, another good killer to be leveling there. Clowny Boy here, normal 115% movement speed killer, who also has a power that slows down survivors, which can be very strong, or it can be very weak. Clown is a very highly disputed killer, where some people place him high on tier list, some people place him very low. It's hard to say. Some games he feels strong, some games he feels weak. He has, I would say, 3 pretty good perks. I would say probably the best one is Bamboozle. It can help with killers that don't have a way to stop looping. Colorophobia is really coming to its own right now because anti-heal's really big. Pop Goes the Weasel, I would say it's probably his worst perk, but if you, for some reason, can't get Ruin to show up, you could substitute in Pop Goes the Weasel. It doesn't exactly do the same thing, but it's alright. The Spirit here is a 110 movement speed killer. All three of her perks are, well, these two, Haunted Grounds and Spirit Fury, are, I would say, are very high tier perks, Rancor being above average. Spirit is considered one of the strongest killers in the game. I am very bad at the Spirit, so I'm probably going to do her achievements first, because although her perks are very strong, they're actually not that good on the Spirit, ironically enough. They're better on the normal M1 killers. So, the only one that I think really works all that well on her is Rancor, but Rancor works on anyone, because basically you just get shit on and you get a free bonus for getting shit on. Haunted Grounds is obviously good on the Spirit, but it's pretty much good on anyone. Basically, if they cleanse the Hex Totem and the Hex Totem happens to be Haunted Grounds, they're one hit down for up to 60 seconds. Legion here is a 110 movement speed killer, but you wouldn't know that if you played him because his movement speed in Feral Frenzy is like 132%. He's considered either the worst killer in the game or the best. A lot of times people would say the best killer in the game, especially on console, because he has a very broken add-on that makes it so people can't really play. There's no counterplay to him. He can vault windows, he can vault pallets faster than survivors. Legion's a very controversial character in this game. A lot of people want him to be deleted. I really liked Legion when he came out, and as soon as I found out that he was broken, I stopped playing him, but we will of course play him because he sells achievements. He has one very good perk called Discordance. This perk in general is good on almost every kill in the game. Very good perk, desperately needed. These other two perks, garbage tier. They're good for meme builds, and that's about it. So that's a little overview of all the killers. Let's go back to Hag. Let's see. I think that's all we're going to be doing today. Yeah. We got some pretty good achievements. Yeah, we got the Hemophobia, escape that asylum map without losing a single drop of blood. That one I'm really proud about because we did it as a 3v1, which can be very hard, and that achievement sucks. Because if you get hit once, you just lose it. But we're going to come back later. We're going to farm more Survivor. Hopefully get Hag to rank 10. Once we get Hag to rank 10, we'll be going to Huntress. I would like to be able to play more killer games because I think killer's going to be a little bit more exciting. But if we can get Survivor to about rank 15, it'll also be more exciting. And we'll eventually start working on Survivor perks, or I'm sorry, Survivor Adepts. But as you can see, it's not too hard to really get the Survivor achievements. A lot of them I'm just getting even without trying for them. There's a lot of Survivor achievements in the game that don't require you to use, like, there are 3 specific perks, so that's why I think it's really good. You can work on the killer achievements without their 3 specific perks, but like I said, killers are pretty hard to play, and a lot of times they require their perks to do well. Anywho, we'll be back with Dead by Daylight very soon. Thanks everybody for watching. Good luck, have fun, don't get lost, and we'll see you around next time.